So my phone does reach that far. That's actually good to know. Uh, it's honestly weird because I've never honestly. Well, let me switch over. Well, hang on. Because I've never done a. I have to make sure that that's going. Because I've never done a just chatting stream before. So I'm still. I feel like I'm still partly getting used to it. Well, duh, because I am. Um. Admittedly, this is also definitely a lot later than I usually stream, regardless. And I usually have at least the benefit. I have the benefit of usually starting with a game. But I'm trying to get used to a slightly different format. Well, not even really an entirely format. Not really an entirely different format. I'm just trying to experiment in a sense. Don't think my voice is like. Well, no. It'd probably be like a mix of either. It would be either a mix of my voice and the right music before I would even feel comfortable trying to do ASMR stuff. Or at least going into the ASMR category. But no, I've kind of realized that maybe I'm actually. No, for some reason. For some reason, even saying that like made me like second guess myself. Or like, no, I don't want to say that I'm confident in talking. Even though that is kind of what I am leaning towards begrudgingly, is that I can actually. I don't want to say carry a conversation because it's not a conversation unless I'm talking to somebody, but I can at the very least monologue, or at least entertain myself while I'm talking. And also multitasking. And now, I think I was thinking about playing Final Fantasy, or at least doing some stuff in 14, because I have some time. I have some time to do, like, my expert. I do want to do EX Farms on stream, though. Not sure if I should do it now, though. I don't know if it's too late or not. Ideally, it's not. Hopefully, it shouldn't be. Like, it's the weekend. You would think that people would be online playing an MMO, but, like, you never know. But that's more of like a secondary. I think what I was mostly, I want to say, planning on doing was like looking through my Steam list to make sure that I had the Resident Evil games that I kind of wanted to do for that marathon, in a sense. Because I was wrong. I was wrong when I said that the 30th anniversary was this year. I was factually incorrect. Technically, the 30th anniversary isn't until March? It isn't until March of next year. So it would be like into the next year. But the problem with that, at least for what I want to do, well, no, not even in theory. I could do it. Because originally the idea was that I was going to go through, I want a marathon like the RE games. Especially because I keep trying to make October like a special, or like a big month anyway, where I just play through like a bunch of horror or spooky games in general for October. But doing that with Metaphor on the docket that I'm trying to beat before the end of the year might be a little bit difficult, even though I'm kind of using this time just to yap instead of actually play it. But that's beside the point. I wanted to play through because I have already I have RE1, because I think I played all of these on stream. No, I didn't. There were 2 of these that I didn't do on stream. 3, technically, actually. Actually, I could probably do this then. Because that would give me an excuse to play through... Because yeah, I did Resident Evil, I did Remake, I played Chris and Jill's Halves. I don't think I played... I don't remember if I played RE2 Make on stream. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. No. At least I don't feel like I did. I know I played RE3 Make on stream. Because that was just like 5 hours. That was one session. That game is short. RE4 I've played on stream multiple times. RE4 Make would be the newest one that I would have to play on stream. No. Because I also didn't play RE5. I also didn't play RE6. Not on stream. But I did RE7. And I did Village. But I didn't do Revelations or Rev 2. Rev 2 I'm especially iffy about because like I'm not sure how that plays without like... Well, no, I can do that. Wow, people did not finish this game. People did not finish this game. Damn. No, I want to play that with somebody. I want to play Rev 2 on stream. But I kind of want to do that with somebody. But that also... It doesn't mean I have to. But I kind of want to play Revelations 1 on stream, even though I don't really like it. Also, technically speaking, like the big gap in this kind of categorization is that I don't have RE0. So like I literally have every numbered entry that I can get on Steam. 1, 2, 3, 4 for 2005, 5, 6, 7. I even have the beginning hour. I don't think I played beginning hour on stream, but I kind of want to, just for the full experience, because it's quick, it's short. And I already, like, pseudo speedrun RE7 and Village, so, like, doing beginning hour before 7 wouldn't be too bad. Revelations Rev 2. I know I didn't do Revelations 2 on stream. I don't think... No, I did not play Revelations on stream. And I didn't play 5 or 6 on stream. And then it would be RE4 Make. So if I save my RE marathon until next year, or if I save that until next year, then I can do my marathon in time for Requiem. Because then at that point I will have played most of the games that I have on stream. Because the big caveat that I want to do with RE5 and RE6 is that I want to play those with people, or at least I want to do like a collab with people for that. Rev 2, I might not feel too bad about playing solo. But that's just because it's a very weird game. Like, I think it's fair to say that that one's weird. It's weird to think that we had, like, an episodic Resident Evil during that era of, like... I'm trying to... Because I don't want to blame Telltale for, like, episodic games ever being a thing. Because, like, they were a thing before they were doing them. Or, like, before they started doing them. But, like, definitely it felt like... I don't want to say a live service, because it wasn't. But it definitely felt like a... It was an era, I'll put it, is a nice way of putting it, is that it felt like a very specific era of online games where it's just like, hey, we'll make the framework for a game, do the first episode, release it, and then episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 would be released whenever. Welcome, Kay. I was about to say good morning, even though that was going to be very, very wrong. I was kind of doubling over on my Resident Evil idea, because now I know that's not that it wouldn't work, but now that I have a better idea of like how long it would take, because I took a note of like how long it approximately would take to beat them. Not gonna be morning for a bit longer, probably, but that's nitty-gritty details, who cares? Because what was it? Where's the note? Here it is. Yeah, because if I wanted to play the Raccoon City games, that would have been 20 hours. A segment after that would have been about 25 plus. RE6, I think, is like, depending on... It's so hard to gauge with RE6, especially because of how many multiple campaigns there are. Because, like... Because each individual campaign, barring the last one, Ada's, like, they're a normal, like, 8-hour game each. So, like, if I was to do Leon's campaign, Chris's campaign, Jake's campaign, and then also do Ada's campaign, 16 plus 16, 32. Big game, but it's not going to take me that long because I would likely use some of the skill points that I have. Well, no, I would. I would use the skill points and skill sets for certain things that I have. And I have surprisingly a decent memory when it comes to a lot of stuff in RE6. And I think Leon's is like the only segment that has puzzles. Leon's is the only segment that has puzzles. Chris is more combat focused. Jake is more set piece focused. And admittedly, I think Jake is probably my best character, so it's not like I would really get stuck on fighting stuff. Ada does have puzzles. She's the only one I don't remember as much, because I played that only once. I played that start to finish once. That was before... I'm trying to remember when that patch was. It was before the patch when they made her campaign unlockable at the start. Which is like... Because I'm thinking about it, because like I followed... Because like I was looking for other VTubers who were playing RE6 like earlier today. And I found one, and she was playing like Chris's campaign. And like... RE6 has so many interesting ideas that I think a lot more people would take more interest in if it wasn't in Resident Evil 6. Like it's a very surprisingly fluid third-person shooter combat system. Like the rolls, the quick shot, the idea of managing a stamina bar, always having access to your melee attacks, but if you do certain melee attacks and like you're alternating with your partner, then you get the like triple, you get the, how do I call it? I want to say triple attack, but it's like a string, because you could do it in RE5 where if you hit an enemy, if you shot an enemy in a specific location, you could punch them, then your partner could punch them, and then you can come in again and you would get like a bigger hit. Like the third hit would be like a haymaker. And RE6 has a system like that. That's actually like a really good way of dealing big damage to a lot of the larger enemies. The stamina system tying in with the dynamic rolls and cover, like where you're taking cover, where if you're taking cover or if you're on the ground, then you regain stamina faster. But also if you use a herb, you'll regain all your stamina. So like there's a reason to not be at full health, because if you're using your stamina a lot, which you can also spend for quick shots, which if you're using a sniper rifle, it turns your sniper rifle just into a shotgun, because it's an automatic quick turn. It's an automatic lock-on, dead center shot on the enemy that is closest to you. which is really good for setting up for melee strings, and it's also really good for just getting something off of you really quickly, which is why it costs you 1 bit of stamina. Like, and the segments where, like, you would cross over with other players' campaigns. Like, Chris Chapter 2, when he is in Europe, his Chapter 2 overlaps with Jake's Chapter 1. So if two people... It's such a cool idea, but the practicality of it is so limiting. Like, they clearly expect there to be so many more people playing that, like, it would happen persistently. But like, if you're in Jake's Chapter 1, but somebody else was playing Chris's Chapter 2 and you're playing online, if you both hit the cutscene trigger for that scene at the same time, you would go into the next sequence together, and it was like a cross section. So like, instead of it just being you and your co-op partner, it would be you and your co-op partner plus somebody else and their co-op partner for 4-player co-op in the story. But you'd still separate after that. And that carried over with Ada's campaign too. There's segments in Leon's campaign, I think at the end of Chapter 2, during a boss fight where Ada would help you. During one of Jake's scenes, I want to say it was like in Chapter 3? It's in Chapter 3 or Chapter 4. Jake gets a lot towards like Chapter... I think it's Chapter 4, because that's when he's in China. Because that's the only real segment where he gets a lot of overlap with a bunch of characters. There's a scene where you're going over boats, and like, if there's an Ada that's in that scene at the same time as you, she'll provide sniper support. Like, no, RE6 does genuinely a lot of really cool things with its co-op. But it's an RE6, and then a lot of people had issues with RE6 because, admittedly, as a Resident Evil fan, it's not exactly a strong Resident Evil game, but as a game, I think it is fascinating, and I think it has a lot of very unsung elements to it, which is why I really want to play that with people. I think if I play it during October, like, I'll have a good chance of running into people who will be playing it, like, for, not only like a marathon, but also just because, like, oh, it's October, it's a spooky game, and like, oh, I want to play something with my friend. Because admittedly, that's kind of the reason why I went back into RE5. Good action film, bad horror film. It's... because they... bad horror, I will say. It's not very... it's not horror in the way that, like, RE1 through 3... not the way that RE1 through 3 were. It's more... it's Aliens over Alien 1. Because it's also, like, escalating off of RE5, but that's also why the idea was very different. That's why, like, each campaign is... like, has a different feel to it. Leon's is, like... Leon's takes RE4 and puts it kind of like in a place after RE5. Like, they were very doubling, tripling, quadrupling up on the action stuff. So much to the point that, like, Small Oaks was supposed to be Raccoon City too, like, which is a giant thing that they were very, very focused on pushing. But, like, Leon's campaign was supposed to be more focused on zombies. Leon's campaign is, like, the only one that has zombies in it. Has zombies, but they're, like, it's more horde focused. You're still doing a lot of stuff. You're still dealing with a lot of C-virus mutation enemies. They were trying to do something with Leon's campaign. Helena also starting off with the, Cerberus. No, Hydra, my bad. The 3-headed shotgun. Probably didn't really help. But then Chris's was like very much a continuation of RA5, very action focused, very military hoorah stuff. And then Jake's was more... I don't want to say Jake's was a mix. It was definitely very set piece focused. Because there was the first chapter. The second chapter was you dealing with the Ustanok. In like a frozen, distant facility. Chapter 3, I'm trying to remember what chapter 3 was. I think chapter 3 was like the stealth segment. Chapter 3 was the stealth segment tied in with the motorcycle. Chapter 4 was a majority in China. Chapter 5 was the underground facility. Underwater facility. Because that also ties in with Chris's. But then Leon's campaign, like past 3, where you're in the catacombs, also gets you to... it brings you to a helicopter hijack... Not a helicopter, a plane hijacking. That brings you to China. That brings you into a fight with the Ustanok with Jake and Sherry. Then his chapter 5 is like entirely focused around Ada and dealing with Simmons. To say that RE6 was juggling a lot of things at the same time would be a very gentle understatement. And I think a lot of that juggling did kind of sour people's opinions on it. Because admittedly, it doesn't really carry a bunch of those things kind of well. It also really didn't help that they didn't really answer a lot of questions when it came to stuff around Umbrella and like what happened to it. But that's more kind of where Ada's stuff was a focus on. I'm also mad. I'm mad about the update that made Ada's campaign playable at the start, because when they did that, they also gave her a co-op partner, but Ada's campaign was designed around the fact that it was only her. She was the only solo campaign in the game, which I thought was really unique. But because it was the only solo campaign in the game, they had to, when they did that change, they kind of just threw another character in. Like, his name is Agent, but it's like, here's your knockoff hunk who doesn't say anything because he can't say anything. Because he's not really there. That's why he's not in any of the cutscenes. That's why Ada's the only one that's able to progress the story, because she has to use her grappling hook a lot. It was a very shoehorned solution for something that wasn't a design problem, and I think actually really added to what made Ada so interesting and unique in that game. Especially because it will change, because it changes the feel for like a couple of the later scenes, especially for Leon. Especially towards their climax. Like, it's... I don't know. It like robs a little bit of what actually made that game kind of unique to me. All that to say, I do think Resident Evil 6 has a lot of very interesting things. It has a lot of very interesting elements to it. I don't think it gets recognized for the good things that it does do. I think Resident Evil 6 flat out has the best Mercenaries mode. I think 5 is really good, really, really good, but RE6's controls, the way that the maps change the enemies that spawn in a more significant way, the way that that interacts also with the skill point system, the characters feel more unique in terms of like their weapon loadouts. I do like the very unique attack animations and stuff that 5 has. But I think, like, I used to put so many hours into 6's Mercenaries mode. Like, I think that game did it incredibly well. Maybe also slight bias because of the unlockable cherry costumes that were really cute. That also had just like flat out my favorite loadout because of the shotgun. But that's neither here nor there. That's just an additional fact. But yeah, no, I wanted to do a bunch of Resident Evil games for like a big marathon. And so I think I did 3. I had a few of them. I did a few of them on stream. There's a few I didn't. If I'm not going to do the marathon this year, I'll probably actually end up just playing Revelations on stream, because that's one of the last few main ones that I haven't touched on stream yet. I'd also have to likely touch up I would have to touch up RE4 to make sure that the to make sure my computer wouldn't explode if I'm playing it. Because it's still RE engine, so like I know that it's still like workable. Because I was able to play RE7, RE8, RE2 make, and RE3 make like no problem. So it's just gonna require like a little bit of adjustments, but I should be fine. Speaking of, I might end up actually doing like those farm parties. Well, no, I don't even know if there's actually going to be a farm party up in 14 or not. I honestly, I hate saying it, but I think, I don't know. I almost said it in a way that was going to give people fuel. I think I never used Mare, so I don't really care. I understand like that's like a big thing. That was a big thing for a lot of people, especially because it's like, oh well, I want him on my character and whatnot. But I had issues with it regarding like basically everything that Yoshi brought up in that Lodestone post. But like, I've seen a lot fewer people in PF, and I don't know if that's just because it's like a calm down patch or what. And it's kind of annoying because I want to play my game. I want to do the new EX, I want to do farm parties, I want to do stuff in it. I want to play the game. I want to play the game, and I know that, like, yeah, that's nebulous and that means a lot for different people. But, like, finding... I don't... In theory, I could find a raid group, but it's like... I don't want to be... I think part of the reason why I burnt out, especially when I was doing this last raid tier, was the fact that I was kind of, like, persistently going at it. Which sounds counterintuitive and like very counter to like all the things that I usually say, which is like, yeah, you need to work on something in order to get good at it, especially when it comes to being good at a video game and like putting time into the game so that you can actually learn how that stuff works. But like, also could be that people are going back to college. I didn't consider that. But like, no, I don't want to put in hours comparable to the amount of time that I put in for like streaming for raiding. And I don't mean that in the sense of like what was it last week where I streamed like almost 40 hours. Like, no, I want to be able to like go in and do that. Not like necessarily clear like super quickly, because that's also bad. Like, no, I want to just kind of like do it sort of casually, but I also want to make progress and actually do something. Which goes back to like a bunch of the other stuff that I said during that long rant. Which I did edit. I did edit, and I'm probably gonna end up putting that on YouTube when I like properly set stuff up for a channel. But again, getting distracted. I don't want to put in like more than 6 hours a week for that. And even of that 6 hours, like that has to be in a very specific time, especially because I want to be streaming more. Like I want to put more time into it. That's why I'm like here talking. Because like, no, I want to do this. I want to do this stuff more. And like, yeah, like, shocker, streaming and like being a creator online means that you're gonna have to take time from doing one thing and doing another, because hey, doing this stuff consistently really matters, because it really does impact a lot. Interacting with other creators, doing a bunch of different things, figuring out like fun stuff to do. So I spent like not 2 hours. It wasn't like 2 full hours. But no, it was like an hour. It was an hour and a half, like readjusting my Discord link down below, by the way. Because like I wanted to make it cleaner. I wanted to make it like more, I don't want to say more appealing, even though it is. Like I want to make this like more, I don't know how to describe it, professional? Because like I can't do everything that I want to do right now. I know that, but I do want to do what I can do, which is why I really leaned into using like these templates, why I, which is why I'm trying to put in more time to doing a bunch of different things. Like there's just not, I keep trying to come around to a way of saying this in a way that I like, because the way that I keep almost saying it never sits well with me, despite how obvious it is. Like if you're putting time into something and like you want to do something, like it is going to require some sacrifice. Like, how do I put this? Because like, I'm not trying to make it like come off as like a cold thing either, or like a mean thing, or it's just like, there's certain sacrifices that you do have to make whenever like you want to do something. When you want to get better at something, when you want to make something that requires like a lot of time, you have to put that time into it. And that also means sometimes taking time away from other things. And it doesn't mean that you don't like those things less, or that you don't want to do those things less. But like, if you want to do certain things just based off of life, duh, doing things takes time. And if you're doing things, that also means that you're taking time away from doing something else. And in some cases that might be spending time with some people, but spending more time with other people. And that's not because you necessarily want to. Like in some ideal situations, there'd be, in like some ideal worlds, you would want to be able to like find that mix of you being able to do everything that you want, as well as also spend time with all the friends that you want, and then also still have like equally the same amount of time for like working on the things that you want to work on, and for putting effort into the things that you want to put effort into, and then getting good at the things that you want to get good at, because that all interconnects in its own different ways. But it's not how it works. Sometimes like you have to make a call, and like sometimes you're just gonna get urgent, like because that's something that I'm trying to like find a balance with like right now, where like I want to spend time with friends. I do want to spend time with friends. I do want to I want to talk with certain people that like I do care about, but at the same time, I think especially in like my case when it comes to I don't want to say being shortchanged, but when it comes to just kind of like, I don't even say broken promises because that's also like an extreme version of it. I don't know. When it comes to just like, I want to put effort into this thing and I want to care about this thing, I have to weigh practicality with what I think would be nice for other people. I mean that in a sense of like, because like, yeah, no, I'm running into the issue now where it's just like, no, it is like, it's Saturday, it's relatively late, but it's like, in theory, I could hang out with just like my friends and kind of lay around and not really do much, but like, I got the urge to stream because I wanted to. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a positive change or not. I want to say it's a positive change. But like, no, I'm switching between like, I have certain modes where like I want to spend time with friends, I want to relax with friends, I want to do that stuff with my friends. But then I also will get certain feelings just like, oh, I want to stream. I want to stream. I want to get on. And sometimes I just want to talk, which is part of this, like what I'm doing right now, where I wanted to get on because I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk. I wanted to like experiment with my music and templates more, even though they're like asterisk but like, no, my sleep schedule is garbage, but I wanted to do this for fun. Like, I wanted to stream because I was like, well, what if? Because like, no, there's a bunch of people that are also like tired. It's also the weekend. Like, they're also maybe just trying to relax in their own different ways. And like, maybe streaming on the weekend might be better for growth in certain time frames, but you know, but it also depends on like if I can find that, and I won't know if there are people who like would want to watch me in this time zone or on Saturdays, or on days where it's just like I otherwise didn't stream. I won't know until I go and like try it out, and that's what this is. Like, no, I have the energy for streaming, I wanted to stream, so I'm doing it. And it's not like I don't appreciate my friends. It's not like I don't want to spend time with my friends, or like I am so, like, I need to stream so that I can gain more viewers. Like, no, it's a practicality thing, where it's just like, oh, I usually don't stream at this time, so I want to try it. Like, I don't anticipate all of my usual viewers being up at this time right now, especially when for some reason so many of them are European for some reason. But I won't know if I won't know if there are people who want to listen to me speak or watch me play video games, or like, I don't know. I don't know who would have an interest until like I try. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying. It's kind of why I wanted to stream earlier today. I wanted to do, in full honesty, I wanted to do this stream a lot earlier today, but it started raining very heavily and I wasn't sure if my power was going to go out or not. And then I also had D&D today, which cut into time, because I think that'll start like an hour later than it usually did, and that also threw off my schedule. But like, because of that, ow, my tongue. But because of that, like, no, those are reasons why I want to try streaming today. Because it's like, oh, I usually don't stream today because I'm either doing this or I'm doing that, or because I'm trying to work on something else, or like with this, not this and that, not, and like whatever. But no, that's why I have to experiment. I have to see if like people want to listen. I have to see if people would find me, if people in this time frame like find me interesting or want to listen to me. Or maybe there's viewers who usually like why am I blinking on the word? Or there are viewers, customers, who like would like to watch me more, but like I don't stream at like a good time for them. So like if I do end up streaming on Saturdays and like, oh, that is the time that they're actually like capable of seeing me in, then like why not? Especially with like how kind of all over the place I am with the usual 6 to usually starting from like 6 to 7 EST on like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then some of the much earlier streams on like Tuesday and Thursday. Like, well, what about certain streams on Saturday? Like it's a very experimental type of frame. Especially for like when it came to like Sonic Racing Crossworld, like I kind of did that mostly because the weekend was open. There was a cool game, and so like no, I gave that a shot. And like I liked it. Like no, it was fun, and then people watched it. So it's like, oh well, maybe there is like a niche for me on Saturdays then. Or at least there are people like available and some who would be interested on Saturdays. So like why not give it a shot? And that's kind of just like where I'm at now, where like I'm doing a lot of experimenting. Experimenting with like people who I'll watch and like see like, oh, I wonder if we'll get along. Like that type of outreach, especially considering that I don't really have too many co-op or like multiplayer games that I really play all too much. So I kind of like really have to put in the legwork for finding people who play certain games that I like. Or I just try new games. Admittedly, I've been thinking about trying to play Deadlock. I heard that Rivals adjusted whatever like graphics card issues that they were having, because that's part of the reason why like I don't want to say no, it is kind of like part of the reason why I dropped it a little, because like no, I was climbing ranked and like I climbed high, but like I would run into issues where like I would get stutters. Like it wouldn't be like my connection dropping out. It would be stutters because of the graphics or something, like something with the shader. Like when a lot of effects were going off, like there were some times where just like I would get FPS drops where like I usually wouldn't. And like I was playing at the point where the small stutters and issues would be like enough of a significant time frame where like it would determine if I won or not. Like if I could get an ult off in that time, or if I could heal somebody in a very clutch situation to prevent them from dying. And if I couldn't and issues happen like that, I would feel bad because it's like, oh, because something was happening with my computer or something wrong just happened. Like I wasn't able to, like I felt like I was kind of ruining the experience for other people. Because it was one, because two things. One, it would have been a situation that was on me. Well, part of it would have been a situation where I felt at fault. Because I would be able to recognize, like, oh, I missed that and it was important. Nothing is important because I realized what I could have done that would have saved the game. Or I realized that, like, I was a second too slow in popping my ult because, like, I was suffering from, like, a little bit of delay or stutter. I don't know why I forget that. Side tangent. I hate that lag has become like a catch-all term for any type of slowdown or stutter. Like, I remember distinctly when it annoyed me because it was like I was in a lunch period. I think I was in when I was in school, and like kids were like playing a game on their Game Boy or on their phone boy, if you will. My boy, if some would say. But like their game would stutter because like their phone was messing up or something. And they would say, man, I hate when my game lags. And like something, I don't know, something in my head like went, it's not lag, there's no internet connection. It's not like the game is slowing, like, there is something happening, but it's not happening the way that you think it is. That, you know what, looking back, that probably feeds back into like why I really don't like when people use words the wrong way. Like dead internet theory, like frame time, like an FPS drop. It would be an FPS drop or like some type of stutter, where it's just like, no, the game needed either a second to catch up or something happened and the game slowed down. Slowdown is also another term you could have used. It's not lag. You don't lag in a single player game. Sorry. Going back to the other tangent. Words meaning things that people don't use them for. Like dead internet theory. Where originally the theory was that there were more dead people online than there are real life people, and that came from a what was the theory? Because it was in relation to accounts on Facebook. Yes, it was like relation to accounts that were on Facebook or on MySpace. Because you wouldn't be able to tell if somebody who had those accounts, or if somebody who had an account on there was dead or not. Like, you flat out couldn't tell. You wouldn't be able to tell because, like, oh, did that person just stop posting, or like, are they dead? And we wouldn't know. In some unfortunate cases, we still can't know. Like, some people just stop posting and then, like, oh, I guess they either left or they're dead. So what dead internet theory used to posit was that, like, because you wouldn't be able to tell between all those accounts and such, you could never tell if there were more people online who were dead than there were those who were online. Hence the term dead internet theory. But now we use it for, like, if there's more bots on the internet than there are people. And honestly, it would just be better if a more accurate term would be something like botnet theory. Just because dead internet theory meant something else. And I'm not saying like terms in terms of phrase and lexicon can't change. But like completely, I don't know, because like dead internet theory was kind of like, I don't want to say it was like super important, because that's giving way too much credence to just like a crackpot kind of like internet theory post. But Like, no, it had tangible quality. It had tangible value, I'll say, in like an internet lexicon term. Frame time is the time that takes for the frame to change to the next one. High frame time is often a cause of lag in single player. Yes, there you go. And I don't know. I hate it. Lag means lag in terms of internet connection. It shouldn't be like, oh, my single player game is slowing down. It's lagging. Like, if you're gonna use a word, you should at the bare minimum, you should know what it actually means. That came off as a little elitist and kind of mean, but my point still stands. Yeah, no, how do we get here? Rivals, yes. Yeah, no, I would have issues and like I would feel bad if like the game slowed down or something happened, and like, oh, I would have gotten that if my game didn't stutter. So then I stopped playing, especially because like, no, I really did like playing ranked. And it like got to the point where like it was hard for me to even play casual games, because like, yeah, MMR's gonna scale my stuff up and like that's fine. But like, it's not fun when I feel like I'm constantly at the mercy of just if my game slows down at random, and that's gonna cost other people a chance of winning, because I feel like I'm robbing them of that opportunity just because it's something that I can't control. Like, I know that it is something that was happening on my end, and I feel like it would be unfair to put other people at a statistical disadvantage due to just something that I couldn't really control or fix, despite anything and everything that I did. So I just stopped playing. I tried to do bot matches and stuff so I can keep up with one of the passes that that I had already invested in. But that just takes away from the game so much. It's just not worth it. Which is why like I skipped all of last season. But skipping season is gonna get a lot easier now that they're just 1 month. But I don't know. Maybe if I can find like people to play that with, like I'll go back to it. Especially because like I want to stream it. Like, no, that was a fun game to stream. And like playing that with other people is incredibly fun. But again, the issues and like finding people to play with also. But I think that's more of a general kind of thing. Collabing in general is just kind of difficult for VTubers, especially around my size. Especially because they get very... Part of me wants to say nervous. Cause like... Not to throw myself under the bus, in a sense. But like, no, on average, I get like between 2 to 3 viewers. 2 to 3, like on a usual type of stream. And I'm only at like, what, 230 something followers. So it's like, okay, do I look for people who have similar followers, or do I look for people who have similar viewers? Because people who have similar viewers typically have a lot lower followers, or some who do have like followers compared to like my better streams, which is like 5 to 6, depending on like the time and like when or what's happening. For some reason like they'll tend to be like around like a couple thousands, couple thousand followers. And I don't want to nip this in the bud before I like get too far ahead of myself. Like, this isn't a me complaining about numbers thing. At least not directly. Like, I'm not shaking my chest in front of the camera on purpose. Like, just because, like, ooh, I want followers, I want viewers. Like, no, it is important to cultivate, like, a type of audience that, like, you want to have. Like, people who do like you and respect you for who you are. But I'm saying that it's difficult. It's difficult to make friends with other creators around your size, especially when it's really hard to find, like, and it's hard to find creators around your size. Like, that's kind of the point. Like, part of it, like, a lot of it is outreach. A lot of it is connecting with other VTubers, like having friends, making, like, doing collabs. Like, a lot of it is the interconnectedness. But then it's also, like, finding people that, like, you can genuinely chill with. Like, I have a friend who very routinely, like, tends to... I don't know, like... No, I do know. I'm trying to, like, mince words. There's Valorant streamers. And, like, Valorant streamers just aren't really my thing. Or, like, being a Valorant streamer just really isn't my thing. Because I don't want to... I don't like playing that type of game. Because, like, the type of games that I do like to play are, like, single-player JRPGs. I don't really play a lot of online competitive games, or, like, the typical type of things that, like, have a very set niche in them. Like, I like Final Fantasy XIV. I wouldn't consider myself a Final Fantasy XIV creator. Or a Final Fantasy XIV streamer, like a specific niche. Gacha games are very insular. Like, what else do I have? Like, I'm just scrolling through my games now. Like, there's a lot of different niches that, like, creators can be, like a Deadlock streamer. Or, like, playing a very specific fighting game, or being able to have that skill to just branch out and be, like, different types of fighting game streamers. Playing, like, certain FPSs. Like, there's so many different types of games that just different people can play, and, like, sticking with one, like, is a good way of forming a niche. But I don't want to stick with one because it's boring to me. So it's just like, I want to try other things, so why not go for it? Which reminds me, I probably should start up 14 before people pass out too much. But, like, yeah, no, it's easy to grow in a specific niche, but it's harder to break out of that niche once you kind of, like, try to do that. Like, you need's a strong term, especially if you're not a variety streamer, but, like, having that solidarity that, like, you'll have that audience and you do different things is an important thing. It's an important foil, I'll say. Security, to know that, like, the people who like you for you, and not necessarily just because you do one thing. Some people will like you because you do one thing. Sometimes you can't help that. And that's not necessarily on you. some people are just gonna have their own niches and their own tastes, and there's nothing wrong with that. Why am I not finding it? Nope, there it is. Like, no, it's like comfort food. Again, I keep using that term for various different things. Like, no, it's a comfort. It's a comfort because it's like there's different things that you enjoy, and you enjoy them because it's like the same thing. You know what you're gonna get. And the same thing can happen for creators. There's a reason why Minecraft tuber was like, he is still like a very specific thing. But like, I'm not someone who wants to be in a specific niche. Oh, I do need to charge my controller. I can grab that in a sec though. I don't want to be a creator that's in a specific niche because like that really, I don't want to say handicaps me, that like restricts me in terms of things that I could do, things that I want to do, because that comes with very set expectations. Like I don't want to be an exclusively like horror streamer. But I do like spending October playing a bunch of different horror games. Because I like horror games. I like survival horror. I don't like horror. If I can't defend myself, then I have a problem. I'm on 8 there. I'm like losing track. I think I explained it before. It was just like, no, I like doing multitude of different things. And that's probably part of why it's hard for me to find like specific people to like collab with and hang out with. Mainly because like, no, my interests are like very spread out. Like, yeah, I do have Repo, but I don't have Peak. I do like Night Rain, but I don't play Valorant. Like, no, it's just like a multitude of different interests and different things that I'm into, and sometimes it's not going to overlap with people who might be a lot more, the nice word would be trendy. So it means I'm probably gonna have like a little bit of a harder time finding people to kind of like connect with. But I need to put in that effort if I want to find like those people, if I want to find like those other people I might get along with. Like, no, I have to try. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that this is all set up right. Preferably I would want those co-stars alive. And should be switched to 14. But yeah, no, like I want to meet other VTubers, I want to meet other streamers, and it's not just like that I want to like meet more, like I want to meet those who like would have similar interests in me, because like what's the point in just like knowing more people than that? What's the point in like meeting more people if like you're not actually like getting, if there's not like that connection? Like, I'm not saying that we need to necessarily be like the best of friends, but like forming those connections and like knowing more people, just like in general, like, oh, I know somebody who might be interested in this, and like, oh, we can like maybe try this, like, oh, I'm not used to this type of game, but like I'm willing to try because like this person is like really I don't know, cool or interesting. Which is like a very, I guess, quote unquote mature way of saying like, oh, I just want to make friends. Because that's kind of what this just boils down to. It's like, no, I do want to make friends. I want to make friends with other, like, VTubers and streamers around my size. But the issue with that is that the ones that are around my size, either in terms of follower count or in terms of, like, viewer count, like, no, there's a wide variety of us because we're before that point where we're so, I don't want to say insular, but like before we're really well defined, I'll say. Like I feel like I've gotten a lot better at kind of somewhat defining like myself and kind of what I'm trying to go for in terms of a creative aesthetic, especially as a VTuber. But when it comes to finding like other VTubers who are kind of either around my size or like that, it's hard making those connections. Part of it is also because it's just like, oh, I don't know, like if we'll actually get along or what. And then another part is just literally finding them. Because like, hey, guess what? If it was easier to find like other VTubers in other like well-spoken I don't want, not well-spoken in the sense of like they speak well-spoken as in like they can kind of do what I do and like talk like, I don't want to say like fill dead air, but like that's kind of is mostly what it is. Like you're able to fill dead air. You're able to bring like that kind of life to a situation even without necessarily another person. But then even if you can do that, being able to like have a good rapport with somebody else on stream, being able to be attentive to that other person who's like streaming with you, while also sometimes being able to pay attention to chat while also playing the game, and being able to do interesting things in it. Like, there's so many different things that all factor into somebody being a good streamer or a good VTuber. And like a lot of those hurdles tend to be around like where I'm at now. Like you just gotta find those people. You gotta find those people, find how you kind of like, I guess, get along with them. How you not only get along with them, but also how you all work together. In a sense, if you're making like if you're working in like a tandem group like that. But yeah, I should have 14 open. Just gotta make sure. I also hang on, it's a new stream, which means I got to change this. You know what? Because I started off talking. Either way. Yeah, that was, whoops, very long-winded in a sense. But I feel like I constantly end up, I gotta stop doing it because I feel like I keep bringing that point up, which is very uncharitable. I need to make sure I grab a charger real quick. Okay, this is gonna be kind of messy for a sec, because... Also be sure to let me know if the game audio is too loud or not. I might have ran a little bit too far. Yeah, no, the Sage didn't even have Guardian on me. I am trying. Well, no, there is... Okay, there's gonna be something I can do during the next trash pull. To make sure that I can reach under my desk and plug in this charger so my controller doesn't die.
There should be an access hatch nearby that leads inside. Look for an opening.
I have a dragoon and a red mage. Okay, so I do need to care about positionals. One, two. I should have saved my trajectory. Whatever. Okay, all I need is all of them next to me. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Using my invuln so I can reach under my desk and plug in my charger. And it all worked out. I'm not sure if I should have used that, but whatever. I'll deal.
I'm detecting something big. You'll have to
All I honestly really care about right now is making sure that I get getting like the last bit of I was gonna say relic. Last bit of tomes that I need. Because I think I just need like a couple more accessories. Should be moving away. Yep. Poor red mage. I will do what I can to keep them alive. They live. I've suffered through worse. Easy. Earth Song is a setup for the next one. I got 2 off, it's fine. It's moving back that way. I'm surprised that that actually stayed on. Ooh. They should be fine now. I'm just gonna chalk that up to them kind of being tired. Because now it should just be the boss repeating mechanics. I don't think I've seen this boss repeat Earth Song yet. So this run might be a little bit slower than normal, but whatever. Real deal. Oops. I didn't make sure that I grab enemy aggro. I didn't want to waste the rest of that combo, but then I also kind of didn't want the dragon getting smacked. Begrudgingly, I have to make sure that the rest of my team stays alive. It's the responsibility of the tank, after all. I also don't even know if doing this EX will be enough to get me all the way caught up. It, for some reason, only like triggered to me then that we were kind of dealing with those mobs a little bit slowly. I'm not gonna gear inspect on stream, that would be rude. But I think the sage is fine though. Like, they seem capable. I'm not anticipating that I would need to use my my 30%. Like, no, I should be fine. Yeah, like easy. Full. Like, that one felt like a little slow, and I'm not sure why. 3, 2, 1. Gonna have to modify this one a little. Well, there goes my cartridge combo, but whatever. That was way off of No Mercy, but... Whoops. Ugh. Keep further track. Which one goes first? This one. Need to move. I'm just going to assume that she has like a little bit of a questionable connection. Because I have a feeling that otherwise we probably should have died. Or at least I would have taken a lot more damage. Keep track. This one. I believe that's AoE. Yep. Yeah, it feels like the boss is taking like a little longer than usual. As long as I'm stable, it's fine. Plus, we're still doing big pulls, so it's not like it's gonna take too much long. Oh, do range account? Yeah, do range attacks not, receive the slow? Huh. Well, no, they did. Just doesn't really last for all too long. Full honesty, I was expecting the other dungeon. Partly because the music that's playing is kind of, it's not bad. It's quite the opposite. It might be too soothing. Because it's just like really easing. It's very gentle. Which might be making me a little bit more sleepy than usual. But I have to keep my eyes open. I have to keep my eyes open, especially for this boss. Well, mini boss. I have to remember where the low is. There we go. Okay, the small ones are probably gonna have to go first. I don't remember ever seeing him do that. That's not too bad. I am kind of withholding a lot, though. Perfect. And then spent, so now I'm back down to 0, so I can do a proper opener.
But I have something that may test you yet.
Big shield. No cutscene, so we're good to go.
This machine has long guarded these crumbling walls.
2.
How will you handle this?
I'm not giving up my uptime.
introduced more weaponry.
Here. That's gonna expand.
Let us see what this means.
Neutralize front.
A new approach to assess your adaptability.
One of these is going to move. Should be the first one. Second. So I'm actually safe here. And then I just move over.
Stay alive. How unfortunate.
Should be fine.
For you to die here, it would save me trouble later.
That one's just bad. That was a really rare combo. Like that one, I don't think I usually see that. Neutralize front.
I'm beginning to understand how you were able to defeat Queen Eternia.
Adaptability. 2. Yeah, no, this fight's going on long. I can keep it up, that's not the problem. Turrets again. Then that. Then that's gonna go off. Then that's gonna go off, and I don't want to change it right now. That poor Dragoon. That poor Dragoon was trying her best. Please tell me that was enough, because that should be enough to get I think it's 490. 390. I would need a wrist piece. $375. Okay, no, so I'm fine. Also should clear one of my Wondrous. It's still 755 though. So it's still technically speaking in line, but I'm almost full 760, right? Next week, next week I'd be able to get the necklace, Be able to get the necklace, upgrade the wrist, and I'd almost be at full 760. Guess it's more direct hit. Now the fun part of making sure that I switch every one of my tank jobs. That at least brings Paladin and Warrior up to 755, so they're all equal. Why are there more people doing T than Necron? This is supposed to be Aether. Why is nobody doing Necron? Like, are people just scared of that fight? That title was like sadly preemptively right. Yeah, and then I did everything for Jueno. For second walk, so it's not like I can do anything right now. That might be it then. That sucks. There's like nothing else I can really do because there's nobody doing content, I guess. It is kind of late anyway, though. I mostly kind of wanted to get on just for like a quick little chatting, I guess. Just for the fun of it. Because that means, yeah, no, I am like all set on gear. So now it's either me making most of my own fun or I guess finding something to do with other people. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it, at least for now then. Just because I am tired. And I do have some plans tomorrow. But this was still fun. And I kind of felt bad for not being able to stream earlier today because I wanted to. But I was scared about my power going out or my internet cutting out because of the rain. Hopefully. Hopefully I'll be able to do something either tomorrow or I'll make it up with like longer streams next week. Because I feel like I'm getting into a pretty decent flow and I kind of want to keep it up. But yeah. I hope you have a I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning or night, no matter when you're watching this. The atelier is closing up for shop. I am maybe a little bit tired because of that music, but like the second I was out of there, I'm better. It's really funny how like the right music can kind of put you to sleep. Even though I was able to talk for like 1 hour straight, perfectly fine. No, not missing a beat. But then the second that like that soft music like kicked in, like it got me bad. But yeah. Have a wonderful rest of your morning and your night, no matter when you're watching this. The atelier is closing up for shop. You do not need to go home, but you cannot stay here. Yeah. Take care and be well. Johnny.